whoever's elected, what will be your top concern when Congress reconvenes after the election?
Top concern.
And if that could be outside of jobs, I know we've covered jobs, so what will be your most important issue that's going to be on your mind outside of jobs?
Mr. Sutton.
There's so many, it's kind of difficult to answer that question right in front, because the purpose of my candidacy is to get the federal government back under the rule of law, to follow the U.S. Constitution. There's many things that I have ideas for initiatives for. One of them, for example, is putting a limit on the size of a legislative package that comes down for vote before even to committee. 3,000-page documents that no one reads is putting this country into this huge national debt and huge deficit. No one reads it. Speaker Pelosi said, let's pass it. Then we can read it, find out what's in there. Great. I don't think it's supposed to work that way. I think that issues need to be debated. Whatever the issues come up, they need to be debated. And the very first thing that has to be, the very first concern that has to be met is the issue being discussed fall under the authority of the United States government in accordance with the U.S. Constitution. When it meets that test, then you proceed with the particulars of whatever that particular item is. But I think personally that my biggest endeavor as a congressman would be to start eliminating things that the federal government has already put into place that there's no constitutional authority for.
Mr. Gibbs.
Well, obviously the number one is jobs and the economy, but the biggest concern I have is the deficit spending and borrowing. We've got to get that under control because it is affecting our economy, it's affecting our jobs, it's affecting our national security, it's mortgaging the future for our kids. We're going to pass on to the next generation a lower quality of life standard of living. That will be the first time in American history. And so we just definitely need to address that. Also, I can see we'll have to address the issue with taxes. Congress didn't do anything yet on the largest tax increase coming January 1st. They might tinker with a little bit lame duck, but I don't think they'll probably do what they should do. And then the other thing that really concerns me is the legislative process. Washington, D.C. is broken, and the committees don't function like they should. It's top down from leadership. They put things in big, enormous amendments and big, large bills. We need to break those bills apart, especially the appropriations bills, and have committee hearings and have transparency and let the American people know what's happening, and quit things like baseline spending, and change the legislative process and open that up. Because when the legislative, I've learned how the legislature, when the legislative process is allowed to work, it's a real good process. Our founding fathers had it right, but it's broken in Washington, D.C. right now, and that's evident how they shoved the health care bill down the American people's throats when not one person in the minority party voted for it.
Thank you. Mr. Space.
Thank you. I agree with Mr. Gibbs. Deficit spending is a problem. It needs to be addressed. The best way to address it is to create jobs, which will enhance revenue. It's difficult to identify an issue that doesn't go back to jobs. And here's where I think that I can set myself apart here. There are these ideological issues that we all care about. But when it comes right down to it, for me, the priority lies here, not in Washington. How can we position this district, the people of this area, to capitalize on emerging economic trends so that we don't have to be the bottom feeders of an economy that we've been for so long? Energy, technology, healthcare, certain segments of agriculture, these fields hold promise. So developing the workforce, working together as a region, creating the infrastructure, like our broadband, for example, those are the keys to success. So my priorities will be not in Washington, D.C., but right here on the ground in Highway 10.